Hi, my name is Casey Trusty, and in this presentation, we will explore the life and contributions of Hildegard Peplau. Peplau was also known as the mother of psychiatric nursing. She was a revolutionary American nurse theorist who led the development of the psychiatric nursing specialty and left a lasting impact on how nurses and other healthcare workers engage with patients and provide care today. Peplau is best known for developing the theory of interpersonal relations, which reframed the nurse-patient relationship from a task-oriented service to a patient-centered approach. Hildegard Peplau was born in 1909 in Reading, Pennsylvania. Um, the flu epidemic was going on during 1918, and it influenced her understanding of the impact of death and illness on families. In 1931, she graduated from Pottsville, Pennsylvania School of Nursing. In 1943, she obtained her bachelor's degree in interpersonal psychology from Bennington College in Vermont. From 1943 to 1945, she had joined the U.S. Army Nurse Corps, served in England, where she pioneered to treat emotionally scarred soldiers. Following the war, she used a GI Bill to pursue a master's and doctorate degree at Columbia University. In 1952, she published Interpersonal Relations in Nursing, and her leadership roles in the American Nursing Association were held from 1969 to 1972. She acted as executive director for the first two of those years and then president for the remaining 2 years. In 1998, she was inducted into the ANA Hall of Fame, and she passed in 1999. Well, had quite the significant impact on nursing and healthcare overall. Her most notable work is her theory of interpersonal relations. Peplau's work on interpersonal process was a blueprint for the nurse-patient relationship and is universally integrated in nursing and nursing education globally. This work was remarkable on its own, however, it was co-authored with a physician, which was unheard of at the time, and marked a historic moment of recognition for nurses' professional autonomy and expertise. Peplau was a leader in advancing the narrative that nursing should be defined as a unique profession with an autonomous scope of practice that identifies the nursing profession as distinct from medicine. Peplau promoted the advancement of professional, educational, and practice standards, focusing on the importance of professional self-regulation through credentialing. This slide will review Peplau's theory of interpersonal relations. Haggerty et al. 2017 gave a great breakdown of her theory of interpersonal relations, and here are the key components that I will briefly review. You have the initial phase, which is the orientation phase. It's where the nurse meets the patient after the patient realizes that they need help, and they learn about the patient and build rapport. The next phase, which is the working phase, is the longest phase, and the orientation phase continues through this process as well. This phase is where the nurse listens to, teaches, and supports the patient while building trust and helping them with their health. The final phase is the termination phase. This occurs as the patient is prepared for discharge. The nurse teaches the patient of how to care for themselves at home and manage their symptoms. It was quite accomplished with her education and advances in practice. In 1931, she had graduated from Pottsville, Pennsylvania School of Nursing. In 1943, she obtained her bachelor's degree in interpersonal psychology from Bennington College in Vermont. She then obtained her master's and doctoral degrees from the Teachers College at Columbia University. She was certified in psychoanalysis at the William Allinson White Institution of New York City. During the 1950s and the 1960s, Peplau held summer workshops for nurses across the U.S., where she taught interpersonal concepts and interviewing techniques, as well as individual, family, and group therapy. And from 1954 to 1974, she was a member of Rutgers University College of Nursing faculty. I included these pictures. They are of treatments and restraints that were performed by nurses during the 1940s through the 1960s. On the left-hand side, this is a picture of a male patient who was affected during the war who was receiving electric shock therapy. And the picture to the right, it shows nurses engaged in a physical restraint in the 1940s. On this slide, I included a couple of photos of additional therapies that were used in the 1940s and 1950s. The one to the right is insulin shock therapy, where they induced a coma to help treat mentally ill patients. The one to the left is known as hydrotherapy, where they would soak clients in tubs. I think of Nurse Ratched every time I see this photo. If you know, you know. After the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 that led to the declaration of World War II, American nurses were called to serve in the military. Hildegard Peplau, joined the Army Nurse Corps and worked with mental health units in the U.S. and England from 1943 to 1945. Peplau was held in very high regards. She served as an advisor to the World Health Organization. She also worked as a consultant for the U.S. Surgeon General, the U.S. Air Force, and the National Institutes of Mental Health. Peplau took part in policymaking groups for the United States government, and after retiring from Rutgers, she helped create the first European graduate nursing program at the University of Leuven in Belgium. I had also read where she had participated in putting together the Mental Health Act of 1946. I scoured the internet trying to find a reputable source to include this, but I was unable to find it. But I think that it's so interesting. She had such a huge contribution to nursing and even outside of nursing and healthcare in general. This concludes this presentation on the life and contributions of Hildegard Peplau. Thank you so much for watching this. I found her to be a very interesting subject, and I appreciate all she's done.